Let's bring in Republican Senator James Inhofe of Oklahoma. He's the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee and wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post this morning called "Iran Cannot Afford an All-Out War." Senator, we appreciate the time.
It's good to be with you.
Why do you think, Senator, Iran can't afford an all-out war, and what do you think their response is going to be?
Well, I think, first of all, Iran has been suffering from the sanctions that have been imposed upon them, and also with a lot of hostility from their own people. And so right now would be the time that they would not be able to put together something. They wouldn't have the resources to do it. Besides that, you know, for people to come forward and say that the action that was taken against Qasem Soleimani somehow is going to cause that kind of a problem, just the opposite is true. Right now, we have a resolution the Democrats have on the floor of the Senate that would take away the president's power to negotiate. Well, if there's anything that would cause a war to come up, it would be to take the president out of that whole scenario. And then that could, so it's just the opposite in terms of what might precipitate a war.
Senator, can you appreciate the skepticism about the intel that led to this being questioning whether it was in fact imminent? Are you satisfied with what you've heard so far?
Well, I am. What you have to keep in mind is, and you have to go back and remember what happened back during the Obama days. You might remember when he put this thing together, and he had the red line. He said that if at that time the issue was using chemical weapons in Syria, he said if you do that, then then we're going to come after you. Well, they did it. Nothing happened. Well, all that time, that's been several years ago. Ever since then, our adversaries, our allies alike, wonder if when America says something, they really mean it. What this president said, we have a red line in the sand. He's been very patient. He went through this whole thing with the landmines on ships that Soleimani was supporting, the downed U.S. drone, which is about $100 million drone, and all of that. And he didn't respond. He restrained himself. But he did say this. He said there is a red line. If they kill one of our Americans, we're coming after him. And they killed an American, and he's dead.
Do you think that Congress should have been briefed beforehand, the Gang of Eight? Do you think that allies who have, let's say, embassies in Tehran should have been told beforehand before all of this went down?
Well, to answer your first one, I think not, because as you know, these are all good, distinguished people. I love them all. I'm talking about my fellow senators, but I've never seen something come up where it didn't leak out. This is the type of thing, to take this guy out the way it was done, it had to be done without anyone knowing it, and whether it's in the Senate or in the House or overseas to our allies. I'm sure they had some discussions that we don't know about, but nonetheless, the answer is no to your question.
Okay.
We don't need to be spreading it out.
I want to ask one question about the impeachment. Senator McConnell coming out today saying he does have the votes to start a Senate trial if and when he gets the articles of impeachment from the House. But you have some of your senators on your side, for example, Mitt Romney, who say, you know what, I'd like to hear from people like John Bolton. Romney's saying, I'd love to hear what he has to say. He has firsthand information. And assuming that articles of impeachment do reach the Senate, I'd like to hear what he knows. Would you?
No, I don't think that'd be necessary. I think you'd want to stay to the subject. And besides that, I think it's important, for one thing, Bret, for all of us to understand, and all of our viewers right now, you know, the only person who knows when the article is going to come over is Nancy Pelosi. And she's got her hard left screaming, saying, get him over there. We want to start this thing up again, beating up the president. Then she has about 50% more of her far left saying, well, you know, the polls are not looking real good. Maybe we should not send it over. I don't think until the meeting takes place tomorrow that even the Speaker of the House knows when and if articles are coming over.
We'll have it when and if it happens. Senator Inhofe, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, Bret.